Oh my god. It's just a piece of wood. Let's give it a shot.
This is Amateur Survival. I'm Darin Cardin. I'm a novice survivalist going on a 2-night simulated survival trip. This time I'm near Oxshoe Pond in the Adirondack Mountains. I'll be testing out survival techniques under simulated survival conditions. I'm going to put these techniques to the test and see if a normal person with no experience can use them effectively.
I'm walking along and we got a lot of cattails out here. As far as I know, you can eat these things. You can eat the roots of them.
Cattails thrive in moist environments. Many parts of this plant are edible. If peeled, the lower portion of the stem offers a good source of carbohydrates. The roots are also edible.
They really don't look in that good of condition. I don't know. I might just keep going, and maybe if I can't find anything else, I'll come back to these.
Also, the head, if broken up, is a lot like cotton. I'm hoping to make a fire, and this will make excellent tinder.
I need to get a shelter going. That's a definite, because it's snowing right now, and it's kind of bordering between snowing and raining, and I cannot get wet in this weather. That would be very, very bad. I'm too far in to hike out in the middle of the night if something does happen. So
I'm going to construct a lean-to shelter. A lean-to is a triangular structure with a wall on one side. The first step is to position 2 sticks in the ground, and then have one over the top. From there, you lean branches over one side. This makes the roof. Bark off dead trees can then be used as shingles to waterproof your roof. Birch bark makes excellent shelter material. Finding a dead birch tree is the best case, because the inside of the tree decomposes faster than the outside. This makes it very easy to strip large pieces of bark from the tree.
it's about 4:30. We gotta get something up pretty quick. The shelter it's not perfect, but it's not that bad. This is the inside. I threw a lot of pine boughs down on the ground, and I'm gonna get some more. And the wall is over here. There's more pine boughs on that. The pine boughs work really well. I'm gonna find a lot more of those. Hopefully I'll be good for the night. I know that there's a lake not far from here, and I've heard that they have, like, it's kind of like what I built here, but it's much better quality, you know, so I think I'm gonna try to find one of those.
Oxshoe Pond is located in the southeastern portion of the Adirondack Mountains. The Adirondacks are a huge mountain chain that spans much of northern New York State. The wilderness covers 6 million acres and is roughly the size of Vermont. The Adirondack feeds the Hudson River, which runs directly through New York City. These mountains contain a wide variety of wildlife, including black bear, moose, and eagles. Mountain lions were thought to have been wiped out of the area years ago, but sightings continue to this day. We got a little stream right here. I'm gonna get a drink.
I guess I can talk about the supplies I have now, because I haven't said anything about it yet. I got 3 thermal shirts, a sweatshirt, and a coat. I have 3 pairs of wool socks. I got a knife, I got a tin can, and I have the sleeping bag.
I also brought a lighter with me. In snowy conditions, finding something dry to make a fire with can be a challenge. One of the best options that I've seen is birch bark. This bark is very flaky and similar to paper. It also tends to stay dry even in wet conditions. I've been seeing birch trees around, and I'm going to harvest some bark for a fire later on.
I don't know what this is, but it's looking good. It's looking really good. I think this is what we were looking for. Oh my god. Wow. There's even firewood. And we got the lake right here. Hell yeah. This is the place.
Now that the shelter's taken care of, I'm going to see if I can get a fire going. In snowy conditions, fire is never a sure thing. I'm going to use my birch bark, cattails, and some twigs to try to start a fire. I got the fire going. Now I need to eat. There is food available if you know where to look.
So this is what I was looking for. This is a pine tree. I'm pretty sure this is a pine tree.
Pine trees have a thin inner layer of bark that's edible. This bark is very high in vitamin C.
You can tell that it's a pine tree by looking at the needles. They should be in groups of 2 to 5. If you look close, you'll see that there's little groups of them, and there's several in that group. It's not just singles. The outside bark is not edible, but the inside bark is. What I'm gonna do is just cut a strip of this, and you're looking for the dull yellowish bark underneath.
Pine trees are very common in most northern hemisphere countries. They are some of the oldest organisms on the planet, with a lifespan that ranges from 100 to 1,000 years. One such tree in California is estimated at well over 4,000 years old. The natives of this area were well known for their consumption of tree bark. In fact, the word Adirondack means bark eater.
And that's what you get. And I just have to peel the white stuff off from the bark, and then I'm just gonna bake it and see what happens. It's done. Yeah, I know, it doesn't look very appetizing, does it? Oh my god. It's just a piece of wood. Scared a shot.
The bark and needles of pine trees are high in vitamin C and can be used as a remedy for scurvy. The edible portion of the tree is called cambium and is a thin white sheet that clings to the outer bark. It can be cooked or eaten raw.
There's nothing to write home about it. It's just like a bland, like stringy feeling in your mouth.
Looking back, I believe I was probably eating more than just the cambium layer. Cambium is actually very thin, and what I was eating was not thin at all. My best guess is that some of what I ate was not even edible.
But I hear that, you know, there were some Indians that this was like a staple diet, so okay, it must do the job. So sometimes I want to get a big piece of wood for the fire, but it's too big to cut. You know, I need an axe. What you can do, if you've got a knife, is get a big stick and you can kind of turn the knife into an axe.
This technique is called batoning. All you need is a knife and some sort of baton.
I mean, it works pretty much the same as an axe.
In this case, I'm using a stick, but a rock would work too.
Okay. There you go. Getting ready for bed. It's about 7 o'clock. The sun goes down early. And basically this is what it's going to be. Just sit here for the next 12 hours. This is a tough one. It's tough when your stomach hurts because you're hungry. You got a headache. It's freezing cold, and you know that you got at least 7 hours left. My head just won't stop hurting. Oh my God. And there's nothing you can do. You know, there's absolutely no way you can get out of here at this time of night. You just gotta suck it up. I don't know. I don't think that bark agreed with me because I don't feel so fantastic. I mean, that's all I've had in almost 48 hours. Okay, so I'm heading out right now. I've had it.
Finding dry tinder in snowy conditions isn't hard if you know where to look. Because the birch bark and cattails are off the ground, they tend to be dry most of the time. Making a shelter really isn't too difficult. The important thing is to use large strips of bark for the roof and evergreen boughs for the floor. This will protect you from both the rain and snow and also insulate you from the cold ground. Eating pine bark is a technique practiced by the natives for generations. It doesn't taste good, but the supply is almost unlimited. If you're lost and there are pine trees nearby, you won't starve. The batoning technique is very effective and simple to learn. If you have a knife and you have a stick, then you have a makeshift axe.
Alright, I did it. I reached the parking area. I am going straight to McDonald's.